Thank you. I will call to order the October meeting of the Norwalk Traffic Authority. It is 4:01. We have a quorum with Commissioner Fran Collier Clemens and Mayor Rilling. First item on the agenda is public comment. If you're here to comment on an item on the agenda, we can let you comment at that time rather than now and then repeat it later on. So if there's anybody here that's wanting to comment on anything else at this particular time, we can check that.
We have no one for public comment, Mayor.
Okay. So the first item on the agenda is approve the minutes of the meeting of September 19th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I so move approval of the minutes.
Okay, any corrections, deletions, omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as submitted?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approve extending the no parking restriction on the west side of Chestnut Street to include 11 Chestnut Street, the Shift Factory Lofts. Who's going to handle that? Mr. Yosak or Mr. Travers?
Mike, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I'll handle that, Mayor. Basically, on Chestnut Street, we have a no parking zone for a portion of the street. It's a fairly narrow street. What we like to do is extend it a little bit, about 100 feet further to the south, because it's creating difficulties for side-by-side school and a lot of traffic problems. The officer for the school officer and the school administration have requested this, and we think it's a good idea.
So it's, well, it looks here there you've got an arrow pointing to the north, so it's that section.
That section from that, yeah, basically from that power pole to the next power pole. Right now, it's not zoned for anything, but it should be really no parking.
Any comment or question? I know Mr. Nittily, you're probably here for that.
Yes. I mean, there's really, unless anyone has any questions, I don't think there's any need for me to give any more detail, but I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone had any.
Is there any other comment or questions on this issue?
No, I have no questions or comments.
Okay, all in favor of approve? Oh, I need you to move it first.
Oh, okay. I move whatever, item number 1. Oh, no, item number 2.
Yep.
No. Which one
Okay.
are we on?
All in favor?
Yes,
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, I need a motion to approve the closure of River Street on Tuesday, November 29th for the Wall Street Holiday Extravaganza.
Okay, I move item number 3.
Okay. Any comment or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
I'm
Aye.
happy, Mayor, too, if you'd like me to give a
Sorry?
brief overview. I'm happy to give a brief overview if that would be helpful for the commission. But Jim is on the phone as well. But essentially, the Transportation, Mobility, and Parking Department has coordinated with Last Parking
Right.
as they oversee 2 areas of the city, with the first one to hold really the first ever Miracle on Wall Street event. So it will be presented and sponsored by Laz. The event will consist of a tree lighting, a light show, food and drinks, activities for children, including a petting zoo as well. There'll be a stage for Santa for the children to take pictures with, and many more surprises. But essentially what we're looking at is River Street between Wall Street and Brunel Boulevard. And that will take place on Tuesday, November 29th from 4 to 8 p.m. We may potentially just need 3 o'clock to set up a stage in the street. But other than that, it will only affect that roadway. I think we're anticipating about maybe 200 to 500 people present at this first ever event. And the Yankee Doodle Garage will be open for parking. And we will, pending this approval, coordinate with the Norwalk Transit District to make it happen. But the detour that you see before you has been used for River Street in the past. And essentially, we would just be using the same detour. And we had an opportunity to meet with Chief Walsh and Deputy Chief Zecca shortly to talk about this.
Okay. Any further or any questions?
No further questions. You explained it very well. Thank you, Garrett.
Seeing
You're
none,
welcome.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I imagine the next item is the same or similar. Need a motion to move that?
Okay, I move item number 4 for the closure of Washington Street for the holiday extravaganza on November the 20th.
So that's between
Yes.
Martin Luther King Drive and North Main Street. That's quite a big closure.
So,
Yep.
so fortunately, this event is on Sunday evening. It will be during that same time period, so 4 to 8 p.m. But that's a time period when the volumes are much lower. And we've met with the police department to discuss what the best detour routes would be for that area of Washington Street. And it was decided upon sending traffic in both directions down to use Monroe Street in front of the police department. And that takes into account some of the travel lane restrictions and height clearances for the area. And also there's a section of Madison's Place, which is needed. But the roadway would still be open to local traffic, businesses. We would work with the police department to make sure that the local access is provided to the condominiums and apartments to the south as well, so that we don't
So you're kind of talking about
have
West
any adverse
Washington.
impacts to them. And we anticipate the Webster lot accommodating all the parking for the
They're actually
event.
talking about West Washington Street.
Yes, sorry for that. It'll be Washington Street between MLK Boulevard and
Yep.
North and South Main Street.
Okay,
That'll be at the old SNET building, the phone building, there on the corner of Martin Luther King and Washington over to North Main. Is that
Yeah,
what
so
you're
it will
talking
take place at 50 Washington, and we'll be using that park area in front to do the tree lighting, to have a stage and a special arrival for Santa, and to also hold some activities for children. We'll also be using, we've been coordinating with the property owner to open up the retail space in the bottom floor of that building. So there'll be heated activities indoors as well for the community.
Okay, so the holiday extravaganza is going to be Sunday the 20th with tree lighting and Santa and all of that sort of thing. And then it's also going to be on Tuesday, November the 29th on River Street, right?
Yes, that's correct. So the miracle,
there are
we're calling it the Miracle on Wall Street. That'll be that Tuesday night from 4 to 8 p.m. And then the Sona one will take place almost a week earlier on Sunday from 4 to 8 p.m.
Okay, but all of this comes under the umbrella of the extravaganza in 2 parts.
Yeah, it's essentially, so it's all going to be presented sponsored by LAS to really give back to the 2 areas of the cities for which they do the enforcement and manage the parking operations. So we think it's an opportune time as we emerge from the pandemic to hold an event where everyone can come back together.
Okay.
any further questions or discussion?
I
Seeing
have
none,
none.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Next item is informational Arbor Court petition to request to address perpendicular parking. Who's gonna
Yes,
handle that?
That'll be me, Mr. Mayor. So we had a customer service come in with a complaints on Arbor Court about perpendicular parking where there should be parallel parking. So he was requesting that we put some signs up to enforce it. We didn't think that was the best due to the nature of the street. And we didn't feel like just having a sign would enforce them to parallel park as opposed to perpendicular park. So we had the resident who brought this up to us send out a petition on the street. He was able to get 6 of the 7 houses to sign it. The 7th house, I don't believe, disagreed. They were just not home every time he tried to reach them. And our solution is going to be to paint parking stalls with water-based paint that should fade away within a year and a half to hopefully help enforce that they should be parallel parking instead of perpendicular parking. There's a safety concern and a trash concern with fire trucks trying to get around in the cul-de-sac being blocked by cars parking perpendicular, and then also with garbage trucks haven't been able to use the cul-de-sac to turn around because they've been blocked by the cars parking perpendicular.
And they're also blocking the travel portion of the highway, I'd imagine.
Yes, of course.
So that in and of itself would be a ticketable offense.
Great.
Yeah. Any comment from the police department or?
No, no issue.
All right, so that looks like that's the agenda for the traffic association, the traffic authority. Next meeting is November 21st at 2022 at 4 p.m. Need a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. We are adjourned at 4:12. And in 3 minutes, we'll go on to the police commission. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.